Hello, thanks for tuning back in. You're just in time to watch me try and run this crypto scalper. Everybody loves scalpers, so I figured let's go with the scalper. Okay, so now I just downloaded it. I'm going to double click on it. Actually, single click is all it took. And I like to just compile it. See, there's nothing wrong with it. Now it is a very, let's see, appears like, oh, I thought it was a very small program, but it's got some code to it. So this is how many lines of code. 917. Some things, these are comments, like I said from the last video. The double dash means whatever comes after that is a comment. Just like this is another comment, and this doesn't do anything. Anything between a slash, apostrophe, and then on one end, and then I could bring it up here. So wherever these are, it's not going to do anything in between these. Consider them like field goal posts. And wherever they're at, there's nothing it's going to do anything. See, if I take it away, it turns that blue, you know it's trying to do something. So let's put that back, and now it's not doing anything. So those are the two comment types you have. Properties go with the just are their information about the overall program that you're running, whether it's an EA or which version it is, if you're doing strict, and who made it. Okay, now we've got some variables. Actually, they are inputs. Okay, and some are external inputs, and some are inputs. Extern, let's see. I have to tell you what extern means last time because I forgot. I think it's just pulling it from. Let's see if I can figure it out. Sure, let's just do this. Extern and then MQL4. Extern variables. So this is how I look stuff up. I just do a Google search and then it takes me right to the MQL reference. Basics, variables, extern variables. Okay, and similar to input, they also determine the input parameters of an MQL4 program. Yeah, you're not going to see them in MQL5, I do not believe. So they are available from the properties window. Unlike input variables, they can be modified in the program during its execution, its operation. Okay, good to know. They can be modified during operation. Inputs, they stay the same once you set them up and apply them. Which, let's go again here and look at the inputs just to so you have a clear understanding that it's this third window. Like you'll have the about when you go and double click on this right here. This is your Open Expert Advisor. So double click on that. Go all the way over here to inputs. Common thing, let me just tell you real quick. Common tab, you'll need to allow Dll Imports, allow modifications of signal settings sometimes to get these to work. So if you don't have it working, you may just have not checked that. Okay, so now these are your inputs or variables. So like I was saying, you can load these from a file. See, and this is it's called a set file. And it's just a basic text file with the which will say take profit equals 1,000. And I'll do one of those eventually, but no big deal. I showed you how to put it into the program itself. But yeah, if you want to run different settings, then it does make sense to have an external text file with different settings in them. So let's say you're running back tests on uh, two different sets of inputs. So that's why you would not want it hard-coded into the program. You would want to do a settings file. Okay, so now let's see what we can do with this scalper here. Let's remove this, so we're going to right-click. On the chart. You can right-click over here, Expert Advisors. I'm going to go to Remove. So you go down to Expert Advisors, scroll over to Remove, and left-click. So that was a right-click to get to this. Left-click once you get to Remove. Left-click to actually get rid of that. From there, let's click on this, drag it over. You see I haven't let off the mouse yet. This is what it looks like. It's got a little box underneath it. Now I'm going to let off. Now it is attached to the chart. So now is where I could allow these DLL imports. Now how do I know if there's DLL imports? It's going to be in the file. So here you know that if you don't see something.dll underneath the MQ4 file, then there is no DLLs that it will be accessing unless it's using some DLLs that are for Windows itself. Okay, so now we're going to go to inputs. You're going to see a lot of inputs there. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot we can play with here. Okay, so now let's go over to the actual code and let's go start seeing what we can do. Make it a little bigger. Let's try and understand what's going on here. So we got all the variables. Okay. So it looks like it's using a moving average 1, a moving average 2, and a MACD signal. Let's see what it's doing here. So you got, see they give you the documentation off to the side. This is one way of documenting it. Other way is on the top of the heading to tell you what, okay, this is this function, and then this is an explanation of, okay, this is what's going on this line. So like a good programmer would leave documentation if they cared for the next person and for themselves to understand what was going on here, not have to think about it again. Okay, so here's the onInit function. When you attach an item like a indicator or an expert or a script, I'm not sure if scripts have onInit, but at least the other two, the onInit is what happens. It's what's triggered when the expert is attached to the chart. The first thing that's gonna happen is it's gonna fire up the onInit. So that stands for on initialization. So when the EA or whatever is initialized, it's going to do this, and it's going to calculate coefficient for, and then different time frames. So, and it's got a case setup. Okay, this is case 1, case 5, case 15. Okay, and those are all minutes, so let's see. 240 is 4 hours, so 1440, how many hours is that? 1440 divided by 60. You'll have to ask Alexa. Okay, so anyway, moving on. Okay, here you see, now this is one of the most frustrating parts of programming. It's dealing with tick sizes. What are tick sizes? Tick sizes are, look at this. 02262 is after the point. It's 43.02262. Now let's go to NeoUSD. Look at this one. It is 11.30, only 2 digits after. Those digits make a big difference. They're really annoying to work with because there's not a standard amount of decimal or zeros after the decimal place. Every pair is different, so tick size is one of those frustrating things that you're gonna pull your hair out dealing with. Some of the ways you can deal with it are you could just make your program for one specific, optimize it for one specific decimal point. If you don't want to deal with all this mumbo jumbo and the coding that goes along with it. But now I could just tell you, I've found ways to just pop in code that I'll look up how to do something on MQL4, which I'll get into in another episode. But I'll look up, okay, how do I do this? And then somebody will say, I use this piece of code. Then I can just take that piece of code, drop it into my program, and wow, all of a sudden the tick size problem is solved. So sometimes there's workarounds or there's code available. This is a common issue, but it's like one that's really, you have to master it. It's going to be a problem too. And it's always going to creep up. There's always going to be these new little issues that come up because prices are always changing. So they might go to an area that was previously thought impossible to reach a certain number, and now it's there, and now you have to deal with it. Okay, so let's see what else we can talk about here. Boolean variables. Boolean, it's like on or off, yes or no, 0 or 1. So that's what a Boolean is. It's like a light switch. It's either it could be on or it could be off. It's 0 or it's 1 as a Boolean. You're going to see double. That's the type of variables that prices take up a double size variable. So it's just the int stands for integer, so that would be nothing with there's no decimal places. It's a whole number, it's an integer. If it's not an integer, it's usually a double. The other common ones from other programming languages people might be familiar with is a floating variable, which has a lot more overhead and it takes a lot more resources. So you want to use, if you can get away with using an integer, use an integer. But if it's ever going to be a decimal point in the calculation, don't use an integer. A string is for text. So text will have quotes around it, and I'll be able to show you somewhere there's some quotes. Okay, here's a string right here. That would be a string. It's not a variable because it's not something equals this statement. It's just print this statement. So this statement is considered a string. Here's a variable, the account free margin. It's going to print, we have no money, free margin equals, and then there's a space there, and that's enough room to give the account free margin statistic to the user for their account. Okay, so now here's the buy possibility. So this is a crypto scalping program. If count trades is less than maximum trades, so then you've got if MFI is less than or equal to 30, MFI1 is less than or equal to 30, MFI2 is less than or equal to 30. Okay, so that's if that is true, then go on to this if. That's what it's saying. Okay, now if this if is true, if MACD main 2 is greater than 0, and MACD 2 is greater than MACD signal 2, MACD main 2 is greater than MACD signal 2. Okay. And then this means or, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, it's an or. So you can just look up these symbols, you know, or. Just like when you see this common is not. The exclamation point means not. This is the common one I use is and. So and or. So if blah 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 and blah blah blah, or if blah 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 or blah blah blah. So if 1 or 2, or if 1 and 2, and that's what you're trying to, you know, figure out, then, okay, if one or the other, then it's going to take you to this level now. You passed the first two ifs, now you're on to the third if. So that's when you go to mom level is less than mom by, or mom level 1, mom level 2 is less than mom by. Okay. Now if new bar flag, if check volume, lots, optimize lots equal true. So this means if they are trying to use optimized lot amounts, which go up and down every time the profit has changed, the account size has changed, it determines what is the appropriate lot size for the new account size. So that's going to do this operation. Well, if the money, check the money for the trade and the lot's optimized, then buy it equals true. Okay, so if the stop loss, take profit, let's see. Okay, here's the buy. This is the buy order right here. Actually, here it is. Order send is to buy. The symbol is going to be the chart you are currently using. OP buy is the type of buy. It's just a market buy. It's not that buy stop, buy limit. Okay, the lots optimized is going to be a calculated number. Or, you know, you could just go, let's say you don't want to do that. I don't like those lots optimized. There you go. I want to use all 0.01s. There you go. Now you're using all 0.01s right there. Let's compile it. No errors, no warnings. We're done. We're using 0.01s. We're not optimized. Okay. So now I just showed you how to edit some random figure. And you could do something else. Let's see. Okay, so this is going to give you an alert, which is those alert windows, which I'll have to show you at some point, or an email, which is nice. I like the email alerts because I get them on my phone, so I really like the email. And all that is it's already set up in your MetaTrader to go to an email program. So whenever that send mail is hit, it already knows the email address you want it sent to. So it's just calling that send mail, hey, send this information. We got it order sent successfully. Just got a sell signal on the period and then the symbol. Okay, and I think, let's see where we're at. We'll keep going. So here's a candle trail, adjust trail. So I'm guessing that's what I was going to guess, a trailing stop loss. Okay, so now here's a comment, check for new bar, compatible with both. Okay, date time. Okay. And here it's not equal to date bar previous. The current bar is not equal to the date bar previous. Okay. Buy stop candle equal I lowest. Sell stop candle equals I highest. Okay. So this is setting the trailing stop. Let's see, buy stop candle. Let's see what that means. Buy stop candle, and it is okay. So this is just saying that it is setting up a trailing candle stop loss. So that's what the buy stop candle is for. So here's the buy function, sell function, move to break even. It's nice code to have. So it's going to go look at the orders. If the bid minus the open price is when to move to B, and this times pips, that's a calculation to try and determine the decimal points there. It's what you're going to see, these times pips. Times pips. Print. I think he spelled error wrong. There we go. Help him out. Error. So this is going to move the stop loss so many pips. That's what it's moving it to break even. Check the new values of levels before order modification. So probably checking to make sure that they are real numbers. They're good. Oh, here you go. You already have levels open. Okay, here's a Boolean to check stop loss and take profit. Okay. Slightly different function is required for pending orders. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Get open orders. Here's this calculate optimal lot size. There's a lot here. You know, this is a pretty complete EA that's really been well thought out, and I don't know how well it works, but it's definitely took some time to create. Check the correctness of the order volume. I mean, that's pretty good. I've not seen that. Okay. Count trades. Common. Calculate profit. Close this symbol all. Okay, so this EA is very complex and not something I want to go over right now, but at least we got to see it. Did a little bit. Let's see if we can see it running. Crypto scalper. Okay. I'll just turn. I know that doesn't need these on. Okay. Crypto scalper. It's up there. Let me get it on the 1 minute. Best chance of getting a trade off. Not looking to make a profit, just looking to get a trade off. Probably should have done this first. Let me just load a couple more up. Maybe when I come out with my next video, it'll have something to show. Where is an active currency? Already got that one. Just trying to look at ones that are moving around, which is like nothing. Everything's very slow. Oh yeah, let's go with Ripple. So I'm just opening a few of these, trying to get something to pop off. So now we're going to go back to our adding the EA crypto scalper. So stick it on all these charts. And then you know what I'm going to do? I am going to adjust the settings on them to really be super sensitive, just to set it off. Okay, we got everything running on a minute. There's no orders yet. Okay. Let's see. Maybe this one, inputs, bars to count. It's just too much to think about right now, how to trigger this. So we're just not going to let it happen. So at least you've seen now how to attach stuff to the chart. You're just going to go first remove whatever you've got loaded by right-clicking on the chart, Expert Advisors, remove, go over to Crypto Scalper, and just drop it on the chart and let go of the mouse, and click OK, and now it's back on. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we'll have more exciting videos to watch next time, but you're learning. Thanks, and keep tuning in.